A very good evening to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening once again. I am Neha, Ambassador of Change for GETI, that is Global Education and Training Institute, an idea about which we just saw in the video. And further taking up the state of disruptive education, we are here to once again gather and listen to Miss Annie Williams. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today. Ma'am will be Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am is an educational consultant and she will be condensing her vast experience and expertise and will be talking about changes in education and the way ahead, a topic that is very relevant right now, especially since after 2 years of almost online learning, there is a new path that has to be created for all the stakeholders of education. And this is a very relevant topic for us today. So I hope everyone who is watching and who will eventually watch will definitely have a lot of takeaways from this talk. So thank you so much, ma'am, once again for joining us. A very warm welcome to you. And I might now hand over the stage to you to take us through changes in education and lead us to the way forward.
Thank you.
Ma'am, you might want to full screen your PowerPoint. I think this is just half the screen visible to us.
So, wait a minute.
Yes, ma'am, this is okay now. Yeah.
Right. So, here we are. Good evening to everyone, and taking our time from your schedule. We are discussing today about changes in education and the way forward. We already know that a lot of changes are happening in education system, and last 2 years have shown the ways, paved the ways, and the policies, the brainstorming, all these things have come. So let me start quickly. First is, what are the changes? What was and what is? So subject-centered, while the modern curriculum is child and life-centered. Earlier it was subject-centered, means we have to teach the subjects and all. And previously, like in history, if we go, it was more of, moral values and languages and mathematics. Now teachers have changed their way of tackling students. The system is changing, and the teacher student ratio is at much better pace. The challenging yet capable of involving evolving curriculums is making a child more holistic in development. So overall development is required. So, Government of India has. I'll talk about the changes which are happening, as all of us have studied earlier, and our kids have, some of them have done the schooling already. Some are still going into the schools. So the basic changes which are coming are been have been added in this NEP policy or National Education Policy is based on four pillars. That is access, equity, quality, and accountability. In this new policy, there will be a 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure, that is the classes, which comprises 12 years of school and 3 years of Anganwadi preschool, replacing old 10 plus 2 system. The NEP 2020 plans to infuse India's education system with innovative content. Now, what will you think about innovative content? Innovative content is what we were studying. We are going to study that. Relevance will change, the accountability will change. Will it be it will be helpful to the students now? Will they make the children future ready for that? So delivery and pedagogy that will enable institutes to prepare for the future, making them more international and globally competitive. So we are not focusing on my village or my area or my school. We have to make global students or global citizens later. What does the new education policy say? The school year begins from 3 years, that was earlier also. Emphasis on promoting multilingualism and Indian languages. Emphasis has been on the mother tongue. Emphasis has been on the use of the local language at elementary stages. The single regulatory body for higher education. This is the best thing which has happened. Like children were again and again going for exams here and there, entrance exams. So the Higher Education Commission has formed one single entrance exam. Separation between subject streams to be blurred. That means what? As per NEP 2020, the rigid separation between subject streams, like if I want to study history with biology, I can study now. So, and no more dropouts. No more dropouts means the RTE or I to education. What are we looking into the future to? Changes after 10 years, 2032. If we visualize the education system of 2032, we will see that the schools will become more computer based and far less paper based. As this has the last 2 years have opened up the ways for teaching and learning process. Different ways have been improvised, innovated. Teaching will become increasingly important, though it will be regardless of the fact that these students would have a lot of freedom in their education. It will be not boxed, it will not be framed that what they have to study. So what that need? It will need skill development. The quick growth of skill based courses in fields such as shopping, banking, selling, mobile repairing, embroidery. So these are the vocational skill developments. Vocational means which will give them the earning point, which will give them the option to choose what they want to follow or work on or study for their immediate future. They are skill oriented with excellent theoretical content. Tests are frequently centered on practicals and offline online quizzes. Yes, some of these job guarantee also, like the skill development program started by Government of India. There have been several changes in the education system. Major ones include short-term skill-based online courses and the use of machine learning and artificial learning. We all are using machine learning, have been using, and artificial learning. The mobile itself is an artificial learning app, I would say, and apparatus where we are using a lot of artificial intelligence. A small game is also using an artificial intelligence. So there are many small little courses, online courses, which will be giving the skill based online courses and give the skill development for the children. EdTech and project based learning. In addition, the use of technology will aid the teaching and learning process. Learning will become more creative and practical as time goes. Like we used to study maths or science in the four walls of these classes. But then what has started and what is required is that relevance of what we are studying or teaching in the classroom should it should affect or it should link with the real abilities and real life situations. Students critical thinking and problem solving abilities will be part of the system. Major changes we will see in Indian education. International syllabus will be fully implemented in the Indian education system, that we are seeing that it is more of project based learning, more of vocational trainings, more of numeracy and literacy. So, with the goal of building a world community who see themselves as a part of the international community and have a strong sense of responsibility towards its members, students will gain an understanding of the interdependence of nations and people. We are online and we are connected with each other at far across distances. And this is what we are going to see more often in the near future. Students' responsibility of the learning experience will also increase, and students will be capable of taking more responsibilities. On the other hand, the teacher will be acting as a clarifier and problem solving specialist rather than a guide to do what is required and not and telling not what is not to be done. Main will be that the teacher will be a guidance, teacher will be felicitator. Increased in online quizzes, collaborative projects. You see on the social media a lot of quizzes coming up, a lot of apps coming up. So children are learning from them. So collaborative projects and group discussions will totally alter examination pattern. Already project-based learning, assessments are based on projects, on group discussions, on real life situations, application-based questions. So this will be in 2032. What's coming? Now we don't know what is coming, but still, with the air which we feel is coming, is the future will see a wider use of homeschooling with the working of parents working two places, one place, mother and father both are working. So homeschooling, where the parents can give more time, homeschooling will be a big priority due to the need for a more personal approach to education. Nowadays schools are teaching and the parents are at office and they do not know what they are doing, because parents will also, the jobs will also shift to online more often by 2032 or maybe 2050. Students will have the freedom to study and learn anything they want, whenever they want, and as far long as they want. In turn, this will also allow for greater mental, physical, and religious freedom. There'll be no questions in school or outside. In addition, it will facilitate more time spent with family. Like we say, the family is the parents are the first teachers of a student. So they will learn the time which will they will share with them among themselves. That will give them more idea of their morals, their values, their tradition, culture, from which they used to learn earlier also. Homeschooling costs are significantly less now with the growing um, expenses and finances. What we see that the homeschooling costs are significantly less than attending a traditional public school. In addition, at home, the learning climate is more favorable. Peer pressure, bullies, and competition will no longer be a part of the educational process. Like in Singapore education system recently, they have changed the marking system. They are not showing the grades of one child to the other. They're not comparing. So we need that. We need that freedom to be given to the students to learn at his own pace. According to statistics, home educated graduates read more, have a better understanding of politics, and are more involved in their communities. Homeschooling also will give individualized instruction. Maybe in school also it can be done, but it is not feasible with the number of students in the class. Students will learn the material using study tools that are specific to their abilities. As a result, after they reach a certain level, Pupils will be given more difficult exercises and questions. So the pace, the thinking skills, the learning skills, if you see the scientists, Albert Einstein and Edison and all, they grew of their own, from their own difficulties, their own difficulty levels, their own perspective of things. So those who are having trouble with the subject will be given the opportunity to practice until they attain proficiency. Individualized self paced learning that is both pleasant and effective. In addition, it is a learning environment that caters to the needs of students. In addition, there are new innovative technologies that can help students learn more and be more creative. Furthermore, there are regular skill tests that aid in maintaining a steady pace. Third point will be e-learning platforms will increase. It's already in the market. So many e-learning platforms, so many tutorials, so many person to person, teacher to student, personalized coachings. There will be a considerable move towards online platforms. Virtual reality and different views will be a big part of both classroom and individual instruction. In addition, students will be able to learn how to negotiate difficulties and communicate ideas online using these platforms. On a tight budget, e-learning is far better option than traditional education solutions. Furthermore, distant learning allows you to juggle school, career, and family obligations while maintaining a healthy balance. Like the NEP has given the choice of dropping out at different levels and continuing your studies, or in higher education, getting a diploma, a degree. In addition, because the physical presence is not necessary, learning can be done from anywhere in the world. What are we expecting by 2050? Maybe I am thinking more, but there will be no physical campuses. It's huge time. Like, campuses as we know them today are unlikely to exist. Learning will not only be happening within the confines of a physical school, the new campus will consist of mobile classrooms and a real world setting. City libraries and laboratories, on the other hand, will continue to assist students in completing their assignments. Students are no longer have to stay in a specific location. In addition, they will be able to learn from anywhere and at any time. Further, as students spend more time outside the classroom, they grow more in tune with nature, which is the SDG goal. Students who have no limits on the study space are more open to the world around them and its real life challenges. So they become street smart as well. By 2050, EdTech and project based learning will be common. Games that teach youngsters how to code and toys that teach robotics. Now, if you see in our daily life, it's happening now. If you go for a driving license, we are giving a virtual uh, test to do the driving test. So, same way in the future, also in 2050, by 2050, or maybe earlier, games that teach youngsters how to code and toys that teach robotics will be common. Tech advances for learning. In addition, a variety of apps will help teachers quickly deliver knowledge to students through their devices. Now, this is already happening, and the teachers who have taught during the COVID period, they already know how many apps they used and how much they learned through these online classes. In addition, the use of technology will aid the teaching and learning process. Learning will become more creative, practical as time goes on. Students' critical thinking and problem solving abilities will be a part of the curriculum. Now, when we say problem solving, doesn't mean we create a problem and then solve it. Everything is taken as a problem when we don't know the solution. But there, everything has a solution. So children are going to be taught as they can think about it, they can find ways about it, they can formulate hypotheses about it, and they can come to conclusions about it. Students' performance in creative projects will take the place of taking tests. So formal assessments will be given away already in process. Many schools have already started doing the evaluations. We do not say examination anymore. To answer tough topics and tasks, project based learning or PBL blends creativity and collaboration. In addition, PBL provides a real world connection. When we are put in a situation, then we find out the ways which we can solve that problem. So, for that, cooperation is required. The child learns cooperation among his peers and a foundation for learning. It does this with multiple assessment options. EdTech in the classroom, on the other hand, enhances digital literacy, allowing people to learn technical skills like coding. It is the ability to study through reading or lecture videos as well as conducting projects or discussing classroom learning. Now, if we say what is EdTech for our generation, it is something very, something a surprise, something a mystery. But what we feel that coding is not coding or edtech classrooms are nothing, out of the box. It was already there, but we were not so much dependent on it. But now we are more dependent and we are accepting it more. Furthermore, grading is considerably easier using educational technology. Thanks to the artificial intelligence, again, the data, the analytics, this all come handy. There are currently many edtech solutions that allow for automatic grading and tracking of student progress. In the ERPs in the schools, you must be having these grading systems, and you do the quiz, and immediately the child knows the answer. So have more time to change we help the students rather than thinking about the assessment. Future education will prioritize social and emotional abilities. Who better can know other than us, the teachers, as well as the students and the parents, that how much social and emotional ability or skills were required and are required during the education system or during ages, teenage, primary, secondary. Talents such as teamwork, creativity, communication, and problem solving will become must have competencies for future specialists. This will be necessary in order to survive in the workplace of the future, even for vocations, even in jobs. This is because the market will be experiencing major growth in positions needing its set of skills. Now, if we say what is this social emotional, we cannot teach, but yes, it has to be inculcated. It has to be brought into the system naturally. And you see that in offices also, if you're parents and if you're teaching, that teachers are you are not able, some of the people are not able to adjust with the stress, the way of working, their prioritizations, the importance, the discipline, the timelines. So what is lagging? Most of them must be having the same qualification almost, but this SEL let them grow into future leaders. Students learn SEL skills in the classroom through cooperative group work. Tolerance happens, understanding happens. You understand, the child learns what is good in me and what how much I'm good at, and gains the confidence. Discussions, problem solving, and group reflection. Many instances have come in school system where a child is not very good in writing, not very good in academics, but his SEL skills are very uh, means more than other it is better than other students. And those kind of children, they learn more, they learn faster when given the appropriate feedback and motivation. Furthermore, parents may help their children develop SEL skills by being a part of the child's education and providing a safe atmosphere in which they can grow. Always telling them that this will happen, that will happen, thinking about all the negative things, talking about the negative things will not help. We have to be positive ourselves, and we have to develop our socio-economic emotional abilities first. Sports and music are examples of extracurricular activities that act as an accelerator for SEL skill acquisition. When you are socially and emotionally stable, you will try to have the challenges that helps you to grow in future in your life, to accept challenges without any efforts or without getting depressed or without getting demotivated. Therefore, the future of education will have more activities in these areas. What is required by the school now? Improving the schools in educational quality. First is adapting educational programs to industry changes. The industry, what does industry mean here? We are talking about education 4.4, 4.0. So what does industry here means? Industry here means that what are they going to get or do for a vocation? So adapting educational policies and programs, giving them the opportunity to study those subjects or learn those skills in school at school level. Retraining faculty and staff. Now, all the faculty and the staff are not fully trained to train the future of the country. They also need to be upgraded, making the best use of technology. We do not have to hide, we do not have to be afraid how to use something, what to do, how it will happen. Once it will be wrong, second time it will happen. It is nothing a rocket science. Yes, it will be. Implementing collaboration in education, collaboration with the stakeholders, collaboration with the parents, with the society, with the teachers, with the students, focusing on retention of students. Now, not retention the other way, retention means dropouts. We should avoid dropouts. We should try to come to the level of the students and give them the appropriate situations, the appropriate learning, individualized learning remediations, so that the child grows. Those who are getting good marks, fine, but those who are having different skills, what about them? They are, maybe they are not very good in writing, or they are not very good in orals. So does that means that a child doesn't have skills? So retention of those kind of students in school is very important, so they do not become a dropout. Helping students lead the way, to be a facilitator again. Engaging parents and guardians. Yes, parents and guardians are still engaged, but in a different manner. What is required that the parents come into the schools with the new ideas for improvement. They should be the part of the system, not as a critic only. Parents generally feel that I have given my child, I have sent my child to the school, and now it is the school's responsibility or a teacher's responsibility. It's not. You have to be, as a parent or as a guardian, you are equally responsible for the mental, physical, and moral growth of the child. Reaching for higher accreditation. Now, the schools have to again find the certifications, what you call it, like we have AICT for higher education, NCT. So these are in collaboration. They are all again a few days back, I think yesterday only it came that they all are getting together, UGC, AICT, and they are making a one formal system of assessment for the students. Same way, schools should have a system of accreditation that, okay, this school is at that level. I'm not talking about the private institutes, private groups who are giving away awards and ceremonies that is the best school and the bad school or good school. No school is bad. No school is very good, because the what makes a school good is the balance between the parent, the student, the learning process. So accreditation, a higher accreditation is required. A system is required where accreditation is given to the schools. Now, from NSO report on education, NSO is National Statistics Organization, where the stats of the country are there. While the pandemic necessitated, now many of you say, how many of you have got access to technology, access to computer, access to mobile? While the pandemic necessitated a shift towards online education at a faster pace, it also clearly brought to light the need to bridge the digital divide. Now, how that is going to be bridged? Some governments are working very hard on it. They are providing, on recorded classes and on the mobile or on the TV. The government has done a lot of TV programs and channels which are dedicated to the classes itself, with a mere 4% of our population in rural areas having access to the computers, compared to 23% in urban areas. So you can see how these children are going to get the education in future. Building India's higher education system of tomorrow needs to be complemented with infrastructure reforms, support and training by the government, collaboration between industry, academia, and the like many CSR bodies are helping hand in hand, collaborating hand in hand with the government and trying to reach out to these kind of children. So there is some one stat I would like to show you. So access to secondary schools, literacy rate among those aged 7 and above, rural 73.5%, urban 87. Having access to computers, rural 4% and urban 23%. Access to secondary school, rural household 38% and urban household means dropout. How much dropout is there? Annual average expenditure per student in rural area is 5,856, urban 17,000, rural again in senior secondary level approximately 9,148, urban is 23,832. So these are some of the datas which the government has given, and so all these collaborators, all the stakeholders have worked on to it. Even the higher education, the secondary education, the school education, K8, K12, and the higher HIC. Now, what is required? How it will be achieved? It can be achieved by alliances and partnerships. In a bid to create a multidisciplinary education system with a focus on new age skills and vocational training. Now, I found in last few years that the vocational subjects were given in the schools, but then the universities didn't have, or the colleges didn't have those vocational subjects in their curriculum, in their colleges or universities. So the child stops there. For example, if we say forensic studies, forensic sciences, hardly few schools, few colleges are giving that, and then after that there is a stop. There is no movement forward. Same way is for retails. For same way is for entrepreneurship. So what is happening is in some schools these are given in combination with some other subjects which are not useful, or maybe there is no scope in after the schools. So this system needs to be changed, and this has been taken care in the NAP that children can opt for a kind of combination of subjects which give them vocational as well as SEL learning as well. This will enable a fair and balanced growth of the sector as a whole. What is future proofing Indian higher education? The blended learning model, which simply means that we have gone above and beyond face to face learning to usher in an era of hybrid or multimedia formats. Hybrid is again sometimes online, offline, going to school or not going to school, taking classes from anywhere, everywhere. So digital going digital, the future education system that will allow us to reimagine how learning can be delivered at a scale. So how much can be given on digital platform? How much can be given on physical platform? More than 80% of all jobs in 2030 have not been invented yet. We cannot even imagine what type of jobs are going to come. We didn't know about data analytics or analytics as such since last before earlier 5 years ago. But now it is all over. Most jobs are in that line. Then is inclusive education. So by 2030, the SDG goal 4 aim to achieve quality education for all. So what is quality education? That it should be having all the norms, all the things which are required, the skills which are required for a student to grow into a greater citizen. In a nutshell, 7 immediate changes are required. First is we have to stop rote learning. We have to, second, evaluation system has to be again and again modified. Again and again, the system has to be checked and proofread. Equal respect to all subjects. So a science student is not better than an economics student or a commerce student or an art student. In our systems, it was like those who are getting the best marks are in science, lesser marks in medical, then that means bio, and then lesser in commerce, and the last one in arts. But it is nothing like that. So equal respect to all subjects, because the system has changed, the usability, the effectiveness, the importance of all subjects have come to light within these 4 5 years. Better training of educators. Now, this is the most important thing. We have to give away with the system of teaching, which was good enough for last few years, but it is not good enough now. So the B.Ed or the DLEd or the exams we are conducting for teachers and tests done, they should be renewed. In my view, it should be in online testing should be done, not online, maybe professional testing when they are working in the schools. They should be tested every year, at least for 2 years, that what they learned during their teaching learning trainings, are they able to use it, are they applicable. And same way, the higher education experts should also get into it and change the system of training the educators. We cannot have 200 slides of PPT and showing them, and you think that we are done with the training. It is not that. They need hands on trainings. We need trainings in school. We need in process trainings for the educators. Introduction of technology education 4.0. Now, technology, if we say, okay, I can work on laptop, I can work on mobile, or maybe on Word, Excel. Technology should be taken as a skill. It should be easy to use. It should be user friendly, which the educators can easily, the educators who are on the other side of 30 plus, they can also upgrade themselves and do not feel left out. Personalized education using artificial intelligence and chatbots. Everything has got chatbots now. In Zomato you have got chatbot, you have got chatbots on other systems, which wherever Swiggy, Amazon and Flipkart, everybody there, everywhere is there is a chatbot, though they are not very helpful sometimes, but yes, there are. So personalized education, when the child wants to talk to the teacher or the child wants to ask certain questions, the FAQ should be ready. The child can immediately be taken care of. Teach them the purpose of education. It's most important thing. Teach who? Teach the educators, teach the owners of the education systems, teach the students as well as the parents. What is the purpose of education? It is not only vocation. It is not only earning money. It is, yes, money is one important part, but to be a good education, to get a good education means शिक्षा हम जिसे बोलते हैं, it means it's not study, it's not literacy. There are two different things which 90% of people think education and literacy are the same. If you can read, write English, Hindi, Spanish, maths and science, then you're a very good student. It's not like that. Education means the balance between mind, body and soul. So once we get to that, once we find that balance, that is the true education which our ancestors used to get in gurukuls. Now let's deliberate. Deliberation means think. I'm leaving you to think. Collaboration and co-creation. Learning of the future will be built around a socio-constructive approach. It is not the duty of the companies to give the CSRs, but also it is the duty of each and every individual, every citizen of the country to build a proper, balanced, socio-constructive approach. It should be constructivism. It should be more of collaboration, more of helping each other, more of learning from each other, rather than negative pulling down and having, we say office politics. It is society politics. We have everywhere there's some politics. So we leave all that, and if we really want to get growth in our life, in success in our life, we have to learn all this. So what we need is bridging the gaps in K-12 and higher education. We as K-12 teachers, we find, okay, we have taught, we have discussed, and a lot of time as a principal also, I've seen that the parents of the students who are till the age of 6 to 14 or 5 to 14, they are more engaged in the school, and after that the parents have no involvement with the children. They don't know what to do with them. So they're forced to take subjects which they don't understand, and by the time they reach plus 2 and they finish class 12, again they are in a huge sea where all the boards are there where they know which one to take. So the gap between K-12 and higher education should be bridged. Though some universities have taken that initiative, I will not take the names, but many of you must be knowing. So those universities, and it should be more open, more into the state education system as well, and the higher education system, that they have to collaborate with the schools, what the school system or the curriculum is going on, and it should bridge the gap so that the child can easily move from school to college without any difficulty or fear. All the stakeholders need to collaborate with the child, the family, the teachers, and the society as a whole to make education global and a happier world for our future citizens. Now, why global? Because everybody wants to know each other. We are understanding, we are listening to songs of Korean brothers, we are listening to songs of American brothers, we are listening to songs of other people in our country, in our state, the dances, we are crossing the boundaries. So we need global citizens. That's for that we need global education. So here I have given my point of view. A big thank you to esteemed educationist and founder, GETI Global, Dr. Sunita Gandhi, ma'am, and to all the viewers who have viewed and listened to me. And thank you very much to my host, Ms. Neha Yadav. Over to Neha. Unmute yourself, Neha.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I usually keep that so that outside noise doesn't distract your presentation, but I totally forgot to do it. So sorry. I was saying thank you so much, ma'am, for taking us through this presentation on changes in education and highlighting various aspects of the NEP as well. Thank you so much for that. And a couple of questions before we wrap up. A is, you mentioned teacher training is very important, so that as we move further ahead, teacher training is very important. And since we are a teacher training institute, how do you think teachers should be trained, considering that we have teachers of different age gaps? We have a teacher who is 25-year-old, and we have a teacher who is 50-year-old. So there's a lot of psychological bias also over there. Some teachers don't want to take the hassle, take the trouble of going and training themselves again, and some teachers are very enthusiastic about training. So how do we train the entire demographic of teachers, and how best to do it?
See, during this presentation, I was discussing that it's never too late to learn, and it is not that okay. I have done 30 years ago. I did some computer course, and that will be applicable now. We have to continuously keeping ourselves upgraded, and the passion to learn has to be there. And as a teacher, I think we are always young to learn, and we never stop learning. So at 50 plus, on the other side of the 50, I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day from my children, from my students, from my colleagues. So if we say as a training institute, the training should be more focused on vocationalization. Again, I would say what we are going to teach the students, same way the teachers should have standardized evaluations, assessments, maybe self-paced. So who crosses that every year, they can be promoted, or they can go to the next level from a PRD to do TGT or PGT, or maybe to even colleges, since now MPhil is not required. So looking forward to PhD, or doing directly NET. So it is the self-paced education should be also available for the teachers, that if they want, like Diksha and MOOC and Swayam, on all those portals, we have so many courses going on, and teachers should be motivated to take those courses if they find the confidence. And it's not difficult. It's not difficult to learn anything until you have any prejudice. If you don't have any prejudice of learning, okay, my age, my factor, I'm my subject is Hindi or SST. I would like to mention here one or two my teachers last year. They when we joined went through the when we fell into the COVID time, So we started like how to do, like it was started, the teaching started just online, like okay, I will write on the whiteboard and start doing. But slowly within 3 months, they changed into total mode of online mode without using any chalkboard or anything. So that is the training required, that is the motivation required, plus the systems. Yes, we they also need the motivation to, okay, I completed this session, now next session I will get one certification or appreciation or responsibilities, and that will help me in appraisal. So there are many things which the teachers can be trained to, means they will want to get trained to.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a very wonderful take on that, and also highlighting the importance of recognition for teachers to, that gives them, an impetus to further pursue more training.
Yeah, and
One
the
more,
freedom to
yeah,
use that, freedom to use
absolutely.
those methods. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Another question, which I think resonates with your agenda as well, is the role of technology. Since we're moving towards hybrid learning, online learning, and even if we are not, then the role of technology has increased a lot, and especially for two students. So, how do you visualize, technology taking up the space of education and helping or say not helping teachers, parents, and students?
See, I took this point in my presentation too,
Yes.
that technology has been there before also, but the need has arisen now. Second, with the burst of knowledge, googling everything, we have a lot of knowledge, but we do not have the wisdom to use it. So the teachers will not be removed from the system of education, because here the teacher will be required more to guide the students along with the technology, what they're learning through learning. But it will be easier for the teachers to get more involved with the students through the analytics, through the they can pinpoint the differences between the students through technology. So that is how I means what I feel as a teacher, that okay, when I use technology, I can immediately see, okay, this was the test I gave online, and these are the points or these are the topics which the children were not able to clear. So if 20 students appeared for that test, and the question, yes, the assessment and the evaluation system has to be foolproof, because there you have to have all sorts of questions regarding comprehension, you have to understanding, application, case study, hots. So that then you can divide, okay, where is the level of the child, the level of learning. Like if we go to IB system of education or IGCSE, they have project based since many years, and they give 15 days projects, and then the children gives symposiums on that, and the peers, the children, other children, they ask the questions. So it is a very good way of learning. So through technology, that can be done anytime, anywhere. Instead of only my class, I can contact, I can have a interaction with the children of the world. So
Absolutely.
technology is giving us the openness, the globalness. So that's very important to be, as soon as possible, we take it in our stride, and without any apprehension that it is my age, or age is nothing if you have the will.
Thank you, ma'am, for echoing our vision of the fact that technology takes us on a global platform. Technology is why you and I are able to conduct this session for a global audience and help them with our thoughts and experiences. Thank you once again, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today this
Thank you,
evening
Neha.
and delivering your session on condensing your experience basically. And thank you so much for that very wonderful presentation, and I hope
Thank you.
everyone enjoyed it. And as I said, everyone who's
Uh,
watching will definitely have
I'm
some
sure
takeaway.
all someone will get some points which are good, and will try their best from their own side. Thank you, Neha.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sunita Gandhi ma'am, for giving this platform again. It's the second time I'm with you, so I feel much elated. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a good day and hope to see you again.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, ma'am.